Hi folks, it's Richard from Inclusive Driving. We're going to have a look at some spiral roundabouts today. A lot of my learners really hate the big roundabouts where you may have 3 or 4 lanes. So in this video I'm going to give you an insight into how I get my learners to understand how spiral roundabouts work. We'll look at how to make a good guess as to which lane you're going to need on approach. We'll look at how, as we get closer, we'll then confirm that decision. But the killer tip here, the top tip, is that as well as knowing where your lane goes, we're going to follow where the lane immediately to our left goes. And there's a bit of a logic behind that. When you come to your exit, you need to be in the left lane, or if it's a 2-lane exit, maybe whichever lane is next to the leftmost lane. But on the whole, you're going to want to be in the left lane by the time you get to your exit. So let's say we're taking the 3rd exit. You're probably approaching one of the right-hand lanes, but by the time you get past the 2nd exit, you can pretty much guarantee you will need to have been pushed over by the road markings over to the left. What if the lanes aren't clearly marked? Well, that doesn't matter so much, because if you can estimate when you're going to become the left lane, well, the left lane is next to the pavement, it's next to the curb, and the curb isn't going to fade. So we'll have a look at a couple of the roundabouts around Wolverhampton. That's the area that I teach in. But I'll give you a talk through of what sort of questions I ask my learners, and we'll have a look at working out where the lane immediately to our left goes, when it's going to disappear, and so when we are going to become the new left lane. Now I will pause the video at certain points just while I make a little bit of an explanation. And that's because there is a lot of information to take in while we're driving. Now in real life you're going to be able to see what's on the road signs quite early, whereas as I'm using a wide angle camera, wide angle lens on the dash cam, you're actually not going to see them that easily until we get closer to them on the video. So I will pause the video just to give you time to have a look at what it is I'm talking about. So at the spiral roundabout we're coming up to, I am going to follow the direction of city centre. So what I would get my learners to do is have a look at the road sign and see which direction city centre is in. Get a rough guide. Is it left? Is it straight on? Is it right? And on this sign that's a little bit covered by trees, we can see that city centre it's over to the right. So I'm going to guess that we need the right lane. Guess the right lane. So it does say city centre. We also saw from the sign that it was the 3rd exit. So I'm expecting that by the time I go past the 2nd exit, the lane immediately left to me, so the one that's got the Iceland lorry in, that should disappear down the 2nd exit, unless of course that also says city centre. As we go, we'll count the exits, but we'll also keep an eye on when the lane to the left of me disappears. I'm expecting it to disappear down the exit before mine. So 2nd exit, we've gone past the 1st, we're going past the 2nd now. That lane is disappearing, the car in front of me is doing things wrong. we have moved over to the left. Now you've just noticed one of the biggest problems with spiral roundabouts is other cars getting it wrong. So this is really point number 2 of being successful on spiral roundabouts. It's expecting people to do it wrong, using the car next to you as a guide, but being prepared for that car in front to the side of you, cutting in front of you, just as we saw there. Let's go and look at it from another direction. So top tip number 3 would be, and this is applicable to pretty much any driving you do anyway, we never want to be directly next to another car. We always want to be slightly in front or slightly behind. If we're slightly in front, the other car might be in our blind spot, but we know they're there. If we are slightly behind, we might be in another car's blind spot, but we can take action if they do start to move sideways. So never be directly next to another car. So at the next roundabout then, I'm going to take the 4th exit towards West Bromwich. It's the A41. Now top tip number 4 is, if your exit is the final exit, you can pretty much guarantee it's going to be the extreme right hand lane. You'll see that in this direction we have a choice of 2 lanes to begin with. Each of those lanes splits into 2, so there's 4 lanes in total. We're taking the final exit, and so we're expecting to be the rightmost lane. So if I'm able to, I am going to go directly to the right hand lane because I know I'm turning right very soon. So just to remind you, we're taking the final exit, which is the A41. So I'm guessing it's going to be the right lane, and if it splits, I'm going to move over to the right again. Let's have a look at the green sign. A41 is the final exit. Let's just take a note of the exit before ours, which is the A454. So we're going to monitor that lane. We're going to monitor the lane that's immediately to my left. The lane is splitting, so A41 is what we want. I can see that the middle lane, then the lane immediately to my left, goes to 2 places. It goes to the A454, which is the exit before mine. So this is the lane that I'm going to use as my guide. When that disappears down the 3rd exit, I know that I am going to become the new left lane. We'll also look at top tip number 5, which is when a new lane appears out of the curbstones on the right hand side, generally we want to stay out of that new lane. So here's a new lane, we don't want it. Still got 1 lane to my left. I'm expecting that to disappear down the A454. Okay, being careful for cars again. BMW in front, getting it wrong. But I'm now expecting to become the left lane, which is going to be next to the curb or next to the pavement. We'll look at another direction. It'll take me a little bit of time to get there, but just to recap so far, as we're approaching a roundabout, we can use the sign or the map of the roundabout, or the diagram maybe you want to call it, to have a good guess which lane we're going to need. If we can see that the exit we want is the 1st or the 2nd exit and it's over to the left, we probably want the left lane, or maybe somewhere close to the left. If our exit is 3rd or more, we probably want the right hand lane. If it's the final exit on the sign, then it's probably going to be the very far right that you want. We also make a note of where the lane immediately to our left goes, so that we can predict when that is going to disappear, and so that we are going to become the new left lane. If a lane has more than one destination painted in the road, such as a few moments ago we saw the lane to our left said Ring Road and A454, then you might find that that lane is going to split later on. It may be that it goes down an exit and continues around the roundabout, or it may be that your lane splits into two on the roundabout. But by making a note of the destination of that lane, you can pretty much figure out where you're going to be going. So you may be having deja vu now. We have been down this road before. This time I'm going to give you an example of what will happen if the road you are taking on your exit is a 2-lane road. There's 2 ways we can probably approach that. By the time we get to that exit, if it's a 2-lane exit, then we can probably expect to have been shoved over to the left hand side, and that will put you into the left hand lane as you go on the exit. Or you may get shoved over to the lane next to the left lane. There could be any number of lanes, so I'm not going to give say it's the middle lane or anything like that. It is the lane to the right of the left lane, and that would put you into the right hand lane on your exit, or the overtaking lane. So let's have a look at how that works. What we'll notice is that the left lane, the lane to our left, stays with us. So we're going to go right, 4th exit towards Ring Road. So it's the final exit. I'm expecting it to be the far right hand side. Ring Road North. Now I can see painted in the road is more than one destination. It says City Centre and Ring Road. So this lane is probably going to split into 2 destinations. There's exit 1, exit 2. I'm not ready to become the left lane yet, because we've still got exit 3. Now there's a lane to the left of me. Let's note where that goes. It goes to City Centre. So after this lane, after this exit for City Centre, I'm going to become the left lane. I am checking my left mirror for people getting it wrong. And as if by magic, we've ended up on the left. Once we end up on the left, we stick to the left. And I'm going to do that roundabout once more. So I'm going to find a way to do a U-turn. Now I'm not going to approach the roundabout from exactly the same direction as before, but I will point out where we did join the roundabout last time. And what we'll do is we'll have a look at how it works if we keep to the right when the lane splits, and we go into the right hand lane on the exit, on a 2-lane exit. Let the car in front get a bit of a gap, that's better. Now you may be thinking, why would I ever want to exit into the right hand lane anyway? Isn't it easier to exit to the left? Maybe it is, but if your local knowledge tells you that you're going to be turning right again soon, you probably do want to exit to the right lane, because then you're in the correct position for the right turn. going to go all the way around the roundabout, which is ring road, but the ring road goes in two directions. So this road marking you can see now, although it says ring road, that's going to be ring road in the wrong direction. Once I get past the first exit, I should start seeing road markings for ring road north. It's always assumed that you'd never want to go all the way around a roundabout, so we're looking for ring road south. So on this occasion I do want to go to the new lane because I'm going all the way around the roundabout. It's not ring road south, sorry, I'm looking for ring road north. This time when it splits, let's have a look at this one, ring road north and A454, so this goes to two directions. Going to keep a note that the lane to the left of me also says ring road, so I'm expecting this white car next to me to shuffle over. We can see there's a new lane just appearing out of the curbstones on the right. I want to stay out of that. Not getting next to the white car. So now I'm coming to my exit, but there's still one lane to the left of me, which means I'm going to get shoved into the right hand lane, the overtaking lane. If I didn't specifically want this lane, I'd build some speed up and move over to the left when it was clear. Well, I hope that has been useful to you. That's how I teach spiral roundabouts. That key point really is, as well as getting yourself into the lane that you know you need, make a note of where the lane immediately to your left goes. Make a note of when that is going to disappear, and then by the time you get to the next exit after that, you should be on the left, or if the lane next to you hasn't disappeared and it stays with you, then you're probably going to be exiting to the right hand lane. But that's my top tip. Well, that's all for now, and we will see you on another video very soon. Thanks for watching. Hi folks, it just so happens that I'm coming up to another spiral roundabout, and this is a good example because it's junction 10 on the M6, which it's been going some major improvement works, and what this means for us is the road markings and the white paint is really good, it's really clear. So let's have a look at how we get onto the M6 towards Birmingham. Now the slip road to the M6 is a 2-lane slip road, so I'm expecting that there are going to be 2 available lanes to get onto the M6. Now it might be that one lane on approach is marked M6 and then part way around the roundabout it splits into 2, or we may find that both lanes or more than one lane on approach is marked M6. We're looking for M6 South, just to clarify that. So the green sign that is coming up with a diagram of the roundabout, that's telling us that M6 South towards Birmingham is the final exit. Note how all of the roads on this map sign are thick roads, apart from that stubby on the left hand side, about the 8 o'clock position. So the stubby is a 1-lane road. And if I remember rightly, you can't even access it from this roundabout.
Take the 4th exit onto the M6 slip road to Birmingham, M5.
Excuse sat-nav interrupting there. All of the other roads are 2-lane exits. We've got 3 lanes here. So the middle lane probably goes to more than one destination. If I remember rightly, it does let you go to the M6 South and the A454. Now I've chosen the rightmost lane. The middle lane does say M6 South, then that's probably going to put me into the right hand lane on the slip road, because the left lane, this lane immediately to my left, is going to stay with me. Okay, so looking at the sign above, yes, that middle lane does go to the M6 South. So this lane is going to stay with me all the way around the roundabout. Now a new lane is probably going to appear soon, which I want to stay out of. I'm keeping this lane on my left. Okay, there's the new lane. It turns out it's coned off, but keeping this one lane on my left. Now here comes my exit.
Onto the slip road.
So I'm going to be exiting to the right hand lane.
In a quarter of a mile, merge onto M6.
And perhaps I don't need to accelerate this much. Now I can see how the traffic has built up. Let's get some gentle braking on. Well, I just thought that was a useful add-on, as it was a very well marked roundabout. So I really will see you again very soon. Thanks for watching.